This is the shogunate of Japan in 1836. We're about to go through the Meiji Restoration period, through which we will turn this feudal, isolationist, authoritarian kingdom into a modern empire with a modern law system, massive industrial cities, and a huge economy. Additionally, in today's video, we'll see how powerful we can get as Japan by playing tall and not fighting any wars whatsoever. Guys, seriously, I said no wars. Get back here. Alright, if you're hyped, give me your E-points by clicking hype below this video and let's get into the campaign. Alright, there it is, Japan. Now, first of all, we're gonna go over to our politics, government, and we will be reforming it. We're gonna remove the samurais and add in the rural folk, which is going to open up new laws for us. We can switch our land reform to tenant farmers, and if we go back to our government, we can see that we have below 50 legitimacy, which gives us some penalties, which we can quickly get rid of if we go to our budget and reduce the taxation. We just want to make sure we have above 50 legitimacy, so if need be, we will even reduce the taxation to very low taxes. And now, since we're here, we might as well reduce the government and military wages. Speaking of which, we could just delete our army, right? Because we're going for a pacifist playing tall campaign, so we're gonna have no wars. We're not gonna delete our army anyways because it gives us more prestige. If we hover over here, we can see that we're getting plus 24 prestige from army power projection. Later on, once we build up a navy, we're also going to get projection from navy, and it's gonna become very important at the stage where we're trying to become a great power, which is going to give us a massive loan interest rate reduction. Now let's go ahead and queue up our research. First of all, we're gonna go with the society tab, go for stock exchange. At least this is what I prefer to do. Then we can go for romanticism, which is gonna give us access to the agrarianism law. And we can go for currency standards so that we get per capita taxation law. And then let's just go ahead and finish everything on this row. Next up, we can begin spending our authority points. We're gonna get the road maintenance decree, promote social mobility, and resource decree in Kanto, which is going to be pretty much our primary state at the beginning because it has a high infrastructure. It has the Edo Bay modifier, which increases the market access price impact, and some good resources such as iron mines, some logging camps. So pretty much we can just build here until we hit our infrastructure cap, which we're only going to start fixing once we unlock railways. Now, on our other states, let's go with promote social mobility decree because this is going to increase our literacy, and we're gonna push for as much innovation as we can in this run so that we can advance with our technologies faster and use technology to become the best country in the game. Alright, we can go ahead and declare our interests. It doesn't really matter which first one we go for, but I do recommend to go for Rhine for the second one because we're gonna be able to conduct diplomacy with some of the great powers here. If we go into our market, guys, we can see that we have just a tiny bit of surplus for tools. We don't have any iron, so if we go into our buildings, there's not really much that we can do here right now because if we were to, for example, switch our logging camps to use sawmills, it would come with a big tools consumption, so we first need to build up some tooling workshops. Currently, the only tools that we're getting is from China, the Nagasaki trade that we have established from the beginning. These are also the only trades that we have because if we go into our laws, we can see that we have the isolationism policy, which disables trade centers. Overall, Japan has a garbage law system at the beginning, so this is going to require quite a lot of work. We definitely want to open up our borders, and we're going to be looking out for countries asking us to open our market. It's usually Great Britain or United States from what I've noticed, so hopefully it's gonna happen earlier rather than later. Now let's get to building. Let's go ahead and queue up 5 construction sectors in Kanto. We're gonna follow them up with some logging camps which are gonna support these construction sectors, and of course tooling workshops, let's not forget them. If we skip a few days, we will have the journal entry earning recognition. So essentially, to complete this, we will need at least 50 relations with one of the great powers, and we will need 200 progress here, which is impacted by us having laws such as isolationism, serfdom, traditionalism. We are currently working on getting rid of serfdom by enacting tenant farmers, so we will get more progress this way. But the best way to get more progress is to draft treaties with great powers, and I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about soon. Now, since a month has passed, let's go ahead and get some rivals, Great Qing, Joseon, and we can go ahead and begin improving relations with great powers such as Prussia, Austria, Great Britain, and Russia. But guys, we're not having like the best luck when it comes to passing tenant farmers right now. It's definitely very important to pass this early. I would even go as far as to say if you don't get this in like the first 4 to 5 years, just restart the game. So what we're gonna do is cancel some of our decrees, especially in the states where we have like the least population. We're gonna get rid of the social mobility ones. And this way, if we have more authority, we get a little bit of a bonus for enactment time. Oh god, this is the experience of playing in Asia. We already have an earthquake in Kansai, which is gonna give us 20 devastation, or a bit less devastation if we're willing to pay off some government expenses. I'm actually gonna go with the second option here because devastation really wrecks your country. Like, we can check this out if we go to the overview. We can see that just by having 10%, we get plus 10% mortality and minus 10% infrastructure. Actually, speaking of it, Shogunate is expecting us to pass National Guard, which kinda helps to deal with a bunch of natural disasters. So I guess we might as well go for it. Alright, we have tenant farmers. Now let's go for the law that is being petitioned. So let's get National Guard. Honestly, if not for the petition, I was probably gonna go for racial segregation because we're not yet able to switch out our economic system to agrarianism. And having an additional institution, especially in early game, does hurt us a little bit because it costs us 300 bureaucracy to have one. But we're gonna be fine because we're gonna build some good administration buildings and we will tackle two issues at once, which is our tax capacity and of course restoring our bureaucracy once we will have a deficit. Look at this tax capacity, boys. Actually, this is better represented if we go to our money, and you can see that we have 45,000 money lost because of unrealized taxes. Yeah, so this is also one of the reasons why we are pushing so much for the society research, because we're going for central archives, which is going to give us more tax capacity and of course unlock standardized filing system production method. You guessed it, guys, we have the Chubu eruption this time. More devastation, yay! Since we're nearing to have 50 relations with the great powers, I think it's a good moment for us to increase our taxation level so that we get a little bit of a surplus and build up our gold reserves. Believe me, it's gonna be important, no matter that we're not at 50 legitimacy at this point. And I'm actually already going to queue up some good administration buildings because we're about to get National Guard. There we go. We still have some time until we have romanticism. Let's see, maybe we can push for racial segregation. And we just finished building our initial tooling workshops. We're about to be finished. So let's go ahead and switch our production methods for logging camps now. Now, if we want to have more tools, we can also switch tooling workshops to use wrought iron tools, which is going to require a little bit of iron. So next we're going to queue some iron mines. And then we're going to make that switch. And of course, eventually we're aiming to switch our construction sectors to iron frame buildings as well, so we're gonna need a lot more iron. But for now, we can still stay with wooden buildings. Okay, USA is damaging relations. Hopefully they will open up our market. I'm actually really looking forward to that. I'm actually gonna begin damaging relations as well, and maybe even expel diplomats since we don't really care about infamy. Wow, this was insanely quick. Like, we're doing fine when it comes to laws. We're doing fine. We have 50 relations with the great powers. Now check this out. What we're gonna do is draft treaties. We need them to offer us embassy, and we're gonna give them whatever they want. For example, investment rights, obligation. For 100% acceptance of the deal, we need to offer them something that will give them plus 30 acceptance. So I will give them money in this case. Russia can get nearly 4,000, and we want to make sure to only have this established for 5 years, not any longer. Send this treaty to Russia, and immediately we're gonna do the exact same with all of the great powers that we can do this with. Maybe to some of them we will need to give like a little bit more money. That's fine if it is the case. It's actually not guaranteed that we will get this with Prussia because they don't seem to really like us that much. It's gonna be 75%. Maybe we can give them something else here. We don't really have any goods to offer them. I guess we can actually try this with 75%. We'll see what happens. Now, to Austria, for example, we can give them power block embassy, which will make things much easier. We don't need to give that much money. So we have all of this handled. Now if we unpause, we will see the situation, and everybody did accept the deal, which means that we will earn recognition super fast. With 4 progress, it's only going to take us 50 months, which is less than the 5 years that we will have the treaties for. Money is going to be a little bit of an issue, but we have some gold reserves which we were saving up for this occasion. As long as we have gold reserves, we're fine. If need be, we will increase our taxation, put up some consumption taxes such as on services or tobacco, for example. Actually, we do have a little bit of authority, so we might as well tax services and tobacco right now. And we have a little bit of a chance to get agrarianism. It's definitely not guaranteed that we're going to pass this because of the high stall chance, but we can try it. Absolutist movement does have a little bit of issue with this, so I will just go ahead and suppress it. Now guys, another big issue that we need to tackle early on is starvation. For example, just on a random state I just clicked on Kansai, we have 4% pops already starving. I believe the best way for us to handle this is to build rice farms, which is going to give us a lot of grain, 35 per level. For example, if we were to build livestock ranches, it would only be with this production method 10 meat. So we will just make sure for now to get like 5 rice farms to be established in all of our states, and later on we can see how much more we will need. We will build as many of them as need be. Now the first ones are gonna be built in Kansai, so what we will do is immediately get the construction decree over here, and we will switch this decree to the current state where we're building. Actually, it's a bit funny, but we managed to trigger corn laws, which is something that I forgot even exists since the 1.9 nerfs. It's not that important because we would now get a petite bourgeoisie market liberal, but sure, we can go for it. We have a jingoist currently, so I guess we will be able to switch him out. Oh my god, guys, we have a wildfire in Kansai now. Holy crap, we have 7 million starving. I really despise the natural disasters. They're just way too overpowered in their current state. Let's go with a little bit of emergency relief. Wow, Great Britain actually broke our convention. These guys are insane, dude. Look at this. For breaking it, they get for 42 years the modifier that reduces their prestige and influence. They also got this untrustworthy country modifier, which reduces their infamy decay for 9 years. I'm always surprised how AI is like fine with breaking treaties like this. They also expelled the diplomats. Come on, boys, just open our market. I would be fine with that. I love this particular event. We have Prussian investments now, which is gonna give us 100% tech spread for production for 5 years. And we have to give an obligation to Prussia, which we already gave them with our Kyoto agreement. So we don't lose anything. We get for 5 years a nice bonus. Thank you for that. Money not looking that good. Let's go ahead and raise our taxes for a bit. And we got it, guys. United States wants to open our market, so when this happens, we want to make sure to accept their demands, which is gonna give us free trade immediately. The opening of Japan is a super nice event for us because it's gonna give us forced to open a Japan modifier, which increases the industrialist and intelligentsia political strength and severely reduces the shogunate political strength. Boom, there we go. Now guys, what we need to do is immediately just get rid of the shogunate from our government. I guess kind of the timing of our market being opened was a little bit awkward in our case because it does affect our recognition progress. So it was lowered, and overall it is going to take us a little bit more time. Maybe you're going to be luckier in your runs. We will have to wait a little bit longer. So in the meantime, we will have to perhaps even stop our construction, raise the taxes. We're gonna generate a little bit more radicals, and of course we're gonna stay with lower legitimacy, which will not allow us to begin our honorable restoration, as we need 50 legitimacy for this. It's really RNG dependent, this kind of situation. Right now our technology is being advanced by tech spread when it comes to banking, so we can focus a little bit more on production. I'm gonna go with atmospheric engine, and later we can queue up central archives into corporate charters for our first company. Nice, we actually managed to get agrarianism. There we go. Perfect. 100%. A new dawn for Japanese shogunate. Ratified the treaty. We'll have a little bit of improved relations with Prussia. That's cool. Immediately we can go ahead and withdraw from these treaties and finally restore our economy. This is going to be great. So we need to go on very low taxes now. Actually, we can go for just low. We need to make sure that we have 50 legitimacy and that we don't have the landowners in the government, or rather the shogunate. And this way, we will begin earning progress towards honorable restoration. We need to get 120 progress. As long as we meet all of these requirements, we're gonna continue doing it. So while we're working on that, let's try and get per capita taxation, which is gonna start to give us more revenue. Let's build up some more government administration buildings to fix our bureaucracy issue. So guys, we made the switch to iron frame buildings now. We're building some more iron mines in Kanto. I'm getting 15 more. We can afford this at this point, not losing too much money. Yo, what the hell is this, Austria? Do you want to like calm down? What is this 10 oil about? And investment rights for nothing in return? This guy is drunk. Get out of here. I think it's a good time for us to talk a little bit about our power blocks, especially after our market was opened and we have access to actually form one. By doing a pacifist run without wars, playing tall, we're not going to be able to have the most powerful power block, that's for sure. We're not going to be able to use all of our principles, but we can still form one and get at least some bonuses. And it really depends on what you want to achieve. For example, if you go with the trade league, at level 1 you could get additional 10% infrastructure, or you could go for trade trade capacity and advantage. I actually for this run want to try out to have an ideological union because, as I said, most likely we're not gonna get any more principles here, and I believe at level 1 creative legislature is pretty damn good with the enactment stall chance reduction, especially after the law commitment nerfs that they did in 1.9 patch. This should help us to pass some more difficult laws. And yes guys, we are not a great power, so it's definitely not the best way for us to form a power block. Let's name it Japanese Coalition, and let's form it anyways, because essentially we're not gonna be able to keep up cohesion. But my idea is that eventually we can just disband this power block, right, and just form a completely different power block, like for example a trade league. So this is just something to keep a temporary bonus for free. Okay guys, since we're switching our production methods to atmospheric engine pump, we're gonna need a little bit of coal. So what we can do is just get a few more coal mines here. We're gonna get like 5 of them, don't need much. Get us some progress towards water to boiler, sure. This is amazing. Now we can have the petite bourgeoisie up in here and we can easily get migration controls. We have a decent amount of construction now, and what I want to do after finishing the iron mines is boost up our food production because we still haven't fixed the starvation issue. We have 11% here in Kansai. It's not looking great. So we're gonna do some switching around here. We need to go for soil enriched farming and we will need fertilizers. So we will begin building some fertilizer plants. There we go. Let's make the big switch for our rice farms and we can begin building this. Let's put this to the front of the queue and let's see how much more we'll actually need. Yeah, 3 is going to be enough for now. Awesome, we have central archives, so we'll pretty much make the switch to standardized filing system after we unlock our schools, which we don't have yet. Hey, we did manage to get migration controls now, so I would really like to go for laissez-faire. We can grab a market liberal still for our petite bourgeoisie as we have this guy available, but the problem is that the rural folk would be super pissed off about this. So first of all, let's try this. Let's try and get a homesteading. Maybe it's gonna work out. We have a pretty decent chance to get it. And this is why I really love to have creative legislature, because without it, the stall chance would be pretty crazy. Right now, it's really modest. Oh god, will you knock it off, man? Another earthquake. Seriously, bro. It looks like we need to have a few more construction sectors because we have insufficient construction for investment pool. We also need more tools. So how about we do this? Let's see infrastructure here. We're nearing the cap. Okay, but this is going to be increased after we do the honorable restoration, so we can realistically continue building here a little bit more. I'm going to get some more construction sectors, and we're also after them going to queue up some steel mills because we will be able to switch to steel tools for the tooling workshops and this way get more tools without building more of these. Okay, just before honorable restoration, we got new production methods for our barracks too. So this is gonna be good. I believe it's gonna tick off one of the journal entries that we will later get. So it's gonna make things a bit easier for us. Boom, there we go. We can reform the government, get in our market liberal. Honorable restoration is completed. 1856, we have it, and this means that we have this beautiful red color now. We also have a new flag. We have the commie restoration, which is going to give us 50% additional interest group political strength for the industrialists for 20 years. Our capital is moved to Kanto, which means we will have more infrastructure there. Shogunate is renamed to the landowners, and because we have general training already enabled for barracks, we do get the event The Fall of the Samurai, and only one journal entry is added to our journal right now. Industrialize Japan. So essentially we will need to do this to complete the commie restoration. It's easy, we will get this naturally. We just need to build the railways, which we're going to unlock shortly, and we will need to have at least level 5 urban centers in at least 70% of our states, which is once again pretty easy to do. We just need to build buildings essentially. For example, in this state in Shikoku, we only have level 1 urban center because we haven't been building stuff here. And state like Kyushu, it already has a level 6 because we got some stuff here. We got some coal mines, we got some farms built up. Okay, here's a couple more cool things. The Samurai Interest Group will be reorganized into armed forces. We will lose some military research speed for 5 years, which is not the best thing to happen, but we don't really care about it, do we? And the samurais will lose the Bakufu ideology, which made them endorse monarchy, serfdom, autocracy, landed voting. So it's actually good for us, we don't care about that. It's very unfortunate that we don't have like an agitator that we could switch out for the rural folk to make this a bit easier. We only have this Democrat, he endorses elected bureaucrats, and a bunch of distribution of power loss, which is not helping our cause. So yeah, we will take the risk, guys. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't, but having laissez-faire would be absolutely amazing. And one thing to not forget, after the honorable restoration, we do have access to colonizing Sakhalin, so we can begin doing that. We will get our first colony. Railway advisors is gonna give us some more progress towards railways, always good to have. Alright, and with the corporate charters unlocked, we have access to our first company. There's many amazing choices here for us, but the one that I want to go for is Mitsui, a company that is unlocked only after you complete the honorable restoration, and it's unique to Japan. So to get this done, we need to have level 5 textile mills. We're gonna just quickly get one more in Kansai. And boom, there we go. Now with this company, we're gonna cover silk plantations, textile mills, lead mines. It will give us the Tomioka silk prestige good. At max prosperity, we will get the bonuses of 20% additional industrialist political strength and plus 10% iron mines building throughput. Also, there is another potential industry that we can add, and we can choose between iron mines, ports, shipyards, and fertilizer plants. Let's go. Let's establish this. Okay, unfortunately, we don't have a good executive. He's got minus 15% popularity. That kind of sucks. But at least his traits don't actually give us like debuffs for an executive. So I'm gonna give this company investment rights, trade rights, so that it can build trade centers for us. And let's go with the industry rights for fertilizer plants, because iron mines, we're gonna give this to a different company that we're gonna establish a bit later. Honestly, this is pretty wild, and I don't remember this event. We do have a little bit of our radical movement over here, and this will immediately establish the universal suffrage law. You know what? This is actually really good, because we still had autocracy from the beginning, which gives a massive debuff for legitimacy penalty from ideological incompatibility. Yes, please, give us universal suffrage. And apparently this also gives us the modern flag like this. Okay, we're gonna need to reduce our taxation for a little bit, but this is gonna be awesome. We will have parties emerging. And this 20% success chance to get laissez-faire is also gonna be pretty nice. I'm loving this run so far. I honestly didn't think this would work out so well. Okay, so we have path to liberalism completed. We're gonna get some bonuses. Yeah, we're not gonna switch his ideology to radical, but we could have a reformer. He's currently, I guess we don't care about the trade unions yet anyways. I actually want to point out that it's pretty wild how we have landowners, intelligentsia, and the industrialists in the same party, and constitutional reform party. Not sure how this is going to work out for us, but so far we have 50 legitimacy with the lowest taxation level, so I guess we're fine. Like, guys, look at this. We have 88% success chance for laissez-faire now, so we're passing this for sure. I don't want to rival Great Britain, like this will screw us over. Speaking of the devil, we're actually neighbors with them now. Hello, Great Britain, I guess. They just came in and took South Korea, just like that. Okay, guys, we're gonna need railways. Now, let's first of all focus on the states where we have infrastructure issues. So, Kanto, Kansai, we can get one railway each in here. And then let's make sure that we have at least one railway in all of our states. The colonization of Sakhalin has been completed, so we can incorporate this brand new state. We definitely can afford to get some more construction sectors. I'm gonna get 10 more in Tohoku. And actually, I would like to get some universities now, so I'm gonna get a few per state, and we're gonna build some more in Kanto, in our capital. Let's get like 10 here for the starter. Obviously, afterwards, we're gonna need to build some paper mills, because we're gonna need some paper. There we go. Colonial exploitation is here. You know what we need to push for right now? That's right, we need to push for quinine. So we're gonna need to research pharmaceuticals into quinine so that we can establish colonies in areas where there is severe malaria. Holy crap, I think this is my first time ever seeing Amazonia be a separate country. What the hell happened in Brazil? And we also in this run have Confederate States of America, which is also not something that I see usually. Europe, on the other hand, looks pretty normal. Actually, by this point, I'm surprised how there's no North Germany yet. Alright guys, finally we have public schools available, so we're gonna get our education to the third level. Let's also go ahead and get a health system, and afterwards we can focus a little bit more on the power structure. We can go for some new citizenship and church and state laws. Would love to get total separation and cultural exclusion established. Hey, there we go. We have quinine unlocked, so we have access to a bunch of colonies. We can go ahead and begin colonizing, let's say, West Micronesia. We're gonna pay 100,000 to also establish a port there immediately. It's so annoying that we have a bunch of traditionalists. They really don't allow us to switch out our church law. I think I would much rather have this authoritarian in the government now. This should do the trick. There we go, the stall chance is not half as bad now, so we can try and get total separation. Now we can also begin our expedition, so I'm gonna send one of our guys to Congo River expedition. But first of all, maybe let's go ahead and get a navy too. It's kind of reminding me that we don't have one, so we're gonna create a fleet and let's go ahead and get some ships as well, because this is gonna give us some more prestige. It's actually a pretty good time for us to care a little bit more about our prestige, so that we can become a great power. There we go, guys, we're starting our first expedition, and actually we did manage to get an admiral with the explorer trait, which means he's got plus 200% expedition opportunity, which is going to make it much more likely that we will get good events through the expedition and complete it easier this way. So it's time to get a few more construction sectors. I'm gonna get some more in Kansai and Chubu. Let's have at least 5 there. We already have a couple of states with 20 construction sectors. Shikoku has 10. We're gonna become a great power soon, so we can definitely rack up some credit. No big deal. And matter of fact, let's see what is happening in Shikoku over here. We have level 3 urban center. Okay, so we're gonna build a little bit more here, because I do still want to complete Industrialized Japan. And if we check this, guys, we can already see that we have 66.66% completed, which means only one more state needs to have level 5 urban centers, so this is the one. Oh god, look at what's happening, guys. How many events we have at once. It's actually wild. One of these is not like the others. Actually, 2 of them are not like the others, and I mean Days of Darkness. Krakatau Eruption is added to our journal, and we also have Nights of Waves, which adds 10 devastation to every coastal state in Japan, which means every state, because all of them are coastal. Yeah, so this was reworked in 1.9, I believe, in the latest version. Basically, we have this journal entry. It's displayed how much of devastation we have in our states, and also we are given a hint that using emergency relief decree on affected states adds 20% chance to reduce devastation by 5% each month. So basically what we want to do is get rid of all of our decrees so that we have a bunch of authority. And we want to establish emergency relief on all of our states. And this is what the eruption does to our economy. We're losing 132,000 right now. It's absolutely wild. Might not be the worst idea to temporarily stop our construction. Okay, we completed our first expedition, so that's some good news. We're getting plus 25% prestige. So this means that we are finally a great power. Now this will really help with our economy, because the loan interest rate is really nice when you have both the great power status and laissez-faire law. Alright, we have a lot of leftover bureaucracy. What we're gonna do is prioritize getting a better health system so that we have a higher standard of living. Thankfully, the devastation is pretty much gone now, so we will be getting our authority refunded from these decrees that will disappear, and we can resume our operations. We also just unlocked joint stock companies, so we're gonna establish our second company, and I wanna go for the manufacturing industries throughput with Metalworks Combine of Japan. This is gonna cover tooling workshops, and we can also add in an additional industry to iron mines, which we haven't added to our previous company. Very good executive. This guy knows what he's doing. He's got ambitious trait, which increases throughput, so that's awesome. Now for our next research, let's go for a little bit more production. We're gonna queue up dynamite. We're about to finish steam donkey, and let's go for steel railway cars afterwards. I'm actually just going to switch all of our production methods to use rails transportation now as well, because we have a lot of railways built already. And as you can see, guys, we pretty much skipped out on nitroglycerin because it does increase the mortality of your pops quite a bit. So I'm just gonna go straight for dynamite, and we're gonna build up some explosive manufactories as soon as we unlock that. Urbanized Empire of Japan has been completed, so we have a couple of new events. Now, usually you would want to go for this military research speed and claims on Korea, but because we are a pacifist Japan, we're going for railways build-in throughput for 5 years. And Winds of Change is gonna give us a little bit more loyalists here in Chubu for a couple of years. We're gonna go for our second expedition because we're actually about to lose the Great Power rank. Hopefully we can keep it, but if not, then we will just get it back shortly because we're gonna get a lot of prestige once again. Petite Bourgeoisie is expecting for us to pass appointed bureaucrats. That's actually a very good call. We should have gotten this ages ago, to be honest. It's not one of my favorite laws in general, but for Japan, I believe it's really good because you get a lot more tax capacity. It's not flat tax capacity, it's actually a percentage. So it's gonna give us really a lot of our money back from these unrealized taxes that we currently have. Yeah, so guys, I highly recommend to get appointed bureaucrats earlier than I did here in this campaign because it totally fixed our economy. Like, we were losing a lot of money. But now if we check this window, we can see that our tax capacity is looking way better than it was before. We're gonna build a few more government administration buildings. We're soon also gonna get identification documents. And pretty much we will no longer have any unrealized taxes. And of course, this gives us a ton of bureaucracy, which we are investing into advancing our institutions. We're getting level 4 health system already. We're getting level 3 law enforcement. So it's looking really good. Now we still need to fix our subventions. We're subventing paper and groceries. We're gonna build up some more paper mills. I'm gonna get another 10, and we're actually going to downgrade our subventions so that we can start saving a little bit more money. And we also unlocked dynamite, so afterwards I'm gonna go ahead and queue up some explosive factories, and we're gonna switch all of our production methods to use explosives. Alright, there we go. Since we're building up some more paper, let's go ahead and reduce the subventions. Immediately we have a shortage, so yeah, we will probably need to get even more of them. I'm gonna go ahead and queue up more. These government administration buildings do eat up a lot of paper. There we go, steam donkey on all of our mines, dynamite on all of our mines, more explosive factories, let's get 15 of them. And we also just unlocked new production methods for railways, so we're gonna establish these as well. Some of our states are still not doing totally well, like for example Chugoku, 46% turmoil, and it's slightly rising up from what I've seen. Actually, it's decreasing now a little bit, but we have a problem here with standard of living. The minimum expected is 10.9 and we only have 10.1. Our pops are paying a little bit more than expected for groceries, clothes and furniture, so we're gonna focus on building a little bit of those. Let's go ahead and grab some textile mills up in here. Furniture manufactories. I'm gonna get a few more food industries, and of course, in order to efficiently build on the state, we're going to get the violence suppression decree. I know it sounds bad, but it cuts down the state penalties by 50%, which basically allows you to construct there faster. There we go, we can now colonize East Micronesia since we are done with the West one. And guys, we managed to get Declaration of Kumamoto over here, which is our investment rights treaty with Great Britain. So we have investment rights in their country, they have in ours. We're gonna be investing mainly right now in British Raj. I'm building a crap ton of silk plantations for them currently. In a playing toll run, of course, we're gonna max out on our buildings at some point. Like in some of our states, we have maxed out on iron mines, logging camps. It's not that productive for us to build, for example, silk plantations on our own lands, so we rather just gonna build them for somebody else and reap the benefits. It's time to build up some power plants as we have access to electricity. So we're gonna start with one power plant in each of our states. We're gonna use this to just enable electric sawmills for our logging camps, and then we can build up as many power plants as it's gonna be needed. Oh, this is gonna be great. We're gonna enable automatic irrigation for all of our plantations, which is gonna require us to have way more engines, but it's gonna give us way more of these agriculture goods. Just switching our silk plantations to automatic irrigation, which we have a crap ton of, we're getting 3.39 thousand more silk this way. Okay, you know what? We want to make sure that we have some motor industries going on immediately. Like, this is definitely our top priority right now. So I'm gonna get to here 20 in Chubu. Let's go with another 20 in Kyushu. Insufficient construction, eh? Alright then. Let's go ahead and get some more construction sectors. To be honest, our economy right now lets us have way more construction sectors. I'm actually going to max out on Chugoku. Let's go with 10 in Chubu. Let's also get our colonial growth to level 4. I'm actually gonna start establishing 2 colonies now. Let's go for Eastern New Guinea here. 1887, guys, and we managed to reach 100 million GDP. Let's see how much further we can push this. There we go, another 15% construction sector build-in throughput from reinforced concrete. That's a nice construction amount that we have, 600 already. Now, we can also make the switch from homesteading to commercialized agriculture, which is gonna upset the rural folk a little bit, but in return, what's gonna happen is we will have more trade unions clout because they will start attracting lower strata pops in rural buildings. So hopefully we can get them out of the marginalized status because they right now only have 4% clout. Dude, our standard of living recently has just skyrocketed. Like, look at this graph going up at the very end. Our upper strata just living lavishly with 53 standard of living. And even the lower strata is looking very good. Like, they have 4 standard of living above the minimum expected. Now let's go ahead and get another company. I really want to go for this additional 5% birth rate. We're also going to get gourmet groceries with this one. So let's get the conglomerate of food. We don't have many wheat farms. We can go for additional industry for livestock ranches though. And let's see, for our research, I think we can push our production a little bit. Let's finish tier 3 so that we can start unlocking some juicy stuff on tier 4. We're just making way too much money. We're gonna continue bumping our construction sectors as long as we have a positive balance, so we're gonna go crazy here. Alright, we do have some rubber now in Eastern New Guinea. So we have some couple of big things happening in our country right now. We can get another principal for our power block. I know, crazy. It took us like 30 years or so to get one. Now, we only can have a level 1, so we need to choose wisely. It's really between the company throughput bonus and more construction for me. I think I'm just gonna go with the construction one. And also, I wanted to point out that we have raised up subventions for our tools, which means that there's gonna be more of a demand for them. And of course, this means also that we can build up more tooling workshops while they are still profitable for us. So this way we raise up even more tools and we can get precision tools easily, because we're definitely going to become one of the top producers shortly. We already produce 13,000 tools right now, and USA in the third place has 14.5 thousand, so that's not much of a difference, is it? Look at that, we already have the third place as I speak. So we're gonna begin getting progress towards tools. And gourmet groceries also, we can pretty much do the same thing. We're gonna go and raise up the subventions. And yeah, time to get some food industries built. Let's get like 5 per state in some of our states. Holy crap, guys. With the 5% bonus that we have from the food conglomerate, we're actually getting a crap ton of pops now. Nearly 1 million annually. This company is actually insane. I actually have an idea. How about we renegotiate this treaty with Great Britain? It's still full acceptance, so we can grab this for 5 years instead of the 12 years that it was. And after it's gonna expire, we're gonna withdraw from it. I have a plan on how we can expand our borders a little bit. Guys, let's see if Russia is gonna sell out. We're gonna try and get the state of Primorye from them. Yeah, I'm gonna give them an obligation. I'm gonna give them as much money as they want. Like, we don't need to give them much. We just need to make sure that we have plus 49 acceptance, which is gonna be the maximum here. And apparently, they really want some engines. Plus 66 acceptance from just giving them some engines. And look at this, guys. They are selling out. They're gonna give us a state here. Oh my god, this is beautiful. I actually thought that state transfer is not viable anymore since the latest patches, but apparently it is. We can go ahead and incorporate our brand new state. 460,000 population over here. It is going to take us 21 years to incorporate, which is a bit unfortunate, but it does have some really nice resources, doesn't it? We have logging camps, iron mines, coal. And this is exactly why, guys, I lowered our time for the treaty with Great Britain, because we're gonna try and do the same with South Korea that they took. Would be funny if we could take like Kamchatka or Amur from Russia as well. Maybe we can try something funny. Kamchatka is actually minus 250 acceptance, yeah, so they're not gonna give that up. And Amur is the same, yeah, that's gonna be a bit too difficult. Holy crap, that is an insane demand for tools, guys. We're producing 45,000 tools, and we still have a shortage of 8,000, so we're gonna get a crap ton more tooling workshops. Guys, we still don't have no migration controls, so we're really limiting migration into our country. We can try and pass this. We're definitely gonna need to cancel some of our consumption taxes, some of our decrease, and suppress some movements, because they're gonna be rising up after we do it. So I'm actually gonna get rid of these decrease. Reactionary movement, let's suppress this one. And we have the supremacist movement with a lot of agitating power right here. Okay, there we go. We completed a bunch of colonies. There's only 2 more that we need to fully colonize. So we're also incorporating these brand new states. And there we go. Our pact with Great Britain has ended, so we can go ahead and withdraw. And we can get a new one. And I'm doing this in this way because if we renegotiate, they actually did something weird about the state transfer. They get like a minus 1,000 acceptance if it's in a renegotiation stage. I guess it's to counter some of the exploits that people have been using. But if you draft a new treaty, okay, let's say we want to take this state of Gyeonggi from them. We can give them investment rights, trade privileges, goods transfer. Let's see, do they also want some engines like Russia did? Oh my god, everybody loves engines. We can give them a little bit of engines. Look at these sellouts, man. Look at these sellouts. There we go. We have another state here in Korea now. 2 million population over here. We have 30 iron mines. Okay, I think we can go to our market. Let's see, we have minus 20,000 groceries. Yeah, it's about time that we revert to subventions. Let's go with low subventions right now. And for tools, let's also go with low subventions, and our balance is pretty much fixed. We could lower the subventions even more. We actually don't have any consumption taxes right now. We could go for services. But yeah, very solid situation that we have over here. We have 1.5 thousand construction, 268 million GDP, and it's not even 1900 yet. We are the 5th greatest power when it comes to prestige. Actually, we can go ahead and check the ledger, what's happening over here with the prestige. We have French Republic above us just slightly. We could easily catch them. And we also have Russia with 2.1 thousand, and then Great Britain has just an insane amount of prestige. When it comes to GDP, we are the third one. United States is just slightly above us. We could actually very easily get the world's first GDP. Like, this would not take long for us. And we have pretty decent population, I would say. We have a bunch of treaties. Mainly these are for like trade privileges. We have, of course, some investment right treaties. We have one with Mexico, with USA, with Austria. We established 3 companies: Mitsui, Metalworks, Food Company. If we go to the companies list and see the global stats, then we can see that we have the 5th best company, the 7th one, and the 9th one. Very steady GDP growth at this moment. And as you can see, guys, even though we fought no wars, we only established like a few colonies as well, we can still expand by just drafting treaties and get states out of like Russia, Great Britain. We could probably do something with Great Qing. If you guys enjoyed this run, then make sure to click the like button. Let me know in the comments what other countries you would like to see in Victoria Free. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you next time. A big thanks to all the YouTube channel members. You guys are all amazing.